welcome everybody back to another Chris EV Road Trips video. Today we're going to check out Gene, who's has a BYD Seal. So we're gonna just go and take a quick interview with him and see what he thinks of the car. And he was an ex-Atto free owner, so then we can find out what happened to the Atto free. And also the big question I want to know is, why did he choose the BYD Seal over the Tesla Model 3, which is the obvious contender in the sedan market. So be pretty interesting to see what Gene's got to say and what he thinks about the car. So I'm with Gene here, and he's the proud owner of a BYD Seal. How are you finding the car, Gene?
Hi Chris, yeah, very good, thank you. Very happy with it. Had it since early December, and yeah, really enjoyable.
So you've currently had a BYD Atto 3 as well. So you're a convert to the BYD brand.
Yeah, that's right. I had a Atto 3 since February of last year. My wife is the main driver of that now, yeah. And decided I'd like to upgrade for myself, and yeah, went with the Seal.
So Gene, you obviously decided to go with the BYD Seal. What made you choose that over, say, the obvious contender, the Tesla Model 3?
Yeah, I did look into other vehicles at the time that I chose the Seal. Yeah, I guess with the Tesla, I would have probably wanted to go with the newer version, the Highland model, when it came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't available at the time that I bought this, and probably was turned off a little bit by the lack of stalks and a few other things about a Tesla. So yeah, my experience with the Atto 3 meant that the Seal was maybe a no-brainer.
Yeah, so the BYD Seal with the ADAS and things like that, have you managed to control all those features?
Yeah, so I have a few things that I switch off when I drive the car, but I can drive it with no beeping, and it's a really enjoyable, quiet, smooth ride.
So all that negativity is pretty well not based on...
I mean, I think, different drivers will experience the car differently anyway, but I've found that it's not really a problem for me at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Gene, just for anybody who's sort of contemplating buying the BYD Seal, what's your opinion? And would you recommend that people take it for a test drive and give it a try?
Yeah, look, 100%. If you're thinking of buying an EV and you're looking at something like a sedan-shaped car, absolutely take it for a test drive. I think you won't be disappointed, and you'll probably want to buy one. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend it.
All right, Gene. Well, I've only been for a drive in the Seal Performance, so let's go try the Seal Dynamic out, and I'm sure it's going to be a great ride. So let's go.
All right, no worries.
We're just about to go for a drive, but we're just putting on the aircon because it's a bit warm in Sydney today. What is it, 30 outside?
28 it says here, but 28. Probably it's a bit warmer than that. I reckon it feels warmer.
All right, so it's really good graphics. So, alrighty. All right, Gene, off we go. Let's go for a spin. So just in reverse.
So you got the camera.
And these cars are so smooth, the suspension, aren't they?
Yeah. It's a really comfortable ride.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Just, Sydney roads are not the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, it handles most of the bumps and potholes okay. Really like.
Yeah, no, I just on my way driving here, geez, these cars are so good. Such a nice Sunday drive car.
Yeah.
So relaxing to drive, no stress, no noise. Yeah, I've driven the performance version of this, so man, that is a rocket.
Yeah, I took one for a test drive. I already had obviously the order in for this.
Yeah.
I went to the dealership or whatever, and they said I could take the performance for a drive as well. So it didn't change my mind. I'm happy with the premium. So so I'm sure this has still got 230 kilowatts, which I think 230.
Yeah, which I think is more than enough for everyday drivers.
I'll be honest, I spend, because I'm commuting most of the time, I actually stick it in the economy mode.
Yeah, sure.
And you still have 150 kilowatts, which is the same as the Atto 3 has.
Right, okay,
when you put your foot down, you notice that it does limit the top end as well.
Yeah.
But it's still good for the cut and thrust in traffic, and it just feels a bit smoother, I think. The thing about electric cars, if you're not used to them, is that they can be quite twitchy under the throttle. And I mean, Tesla is probably the one that everyone kind of knows about, because they talk about the instant thing. BYDs have a little bit of I think a modulation or a delay or whatever, but I think I prefer that. To be honest, I think I prefer it. It's just...
because 90% of your driving is like me. We're commuting. We're just going from traffic light to traffic light.
I'm not trying to race someone at the traffic lights every day, right?
Yeah.
So,
mind you, it is fun though when you get the chance.
Sure. Yeah. I don't deny it. It is nice to be able to zip off and be in the front.
Yeah. No, I'm really, really happy with the way electric cars have come along, which is why I started my channel for. I wanted more people to know how good they are. And you get a lot of, like, all my friends, they're kind of like, they're so stuck in their little world, and they think, oh no, I like my car and petrol cars, why would you get an EV and all this? And I was like, oh man, have you even driven one? Do you know what you're commenting about?
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why I started my channel for, because of all these people who kind of don't want to try something new, and they're automatically quite happy to knock it without even trying it. So yeah, I think they're biting their tongues now though. These cars are fantastic. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my general feeling is if you are a city dweller, even if you're not a city dweller, but generally if you're a city dweller and 90% or even a little bit less, but around 90% of your driving is
black one over there.
Is commuting.
Is that a black one?
Oh, Hyundai.
Oh no, it's yeah. Looks like.
Is in the city, then it's a no-brainer. Yeah, it just is, right?
And so how do you go with charging? How are you finding that?
Yeah, really good. I mean, I find I only need to charge maybe once a week.
Yep.
For me, I do about 300 k's a week commuting.
Yep.
I can pretty easily get 500 k's. On per charge. In terms of sort of commuting driving. So I just top up on the weekends normally overnight. I've got a cheap tariff between midnight and 6 a.m. 6 hours you can put in about 45% of the battery in this.
So you're on AGL or?
Yeah, I'm with AGL.
Yeah, right. I'm going to switch over to them shortly.
I think everyone should obviously do their research, because the peak tariffs can change depending on where you are, which state you're in, and other things like that. So it's not an absolute, you just go with them. But if you can get off-peak charging for 8 cents, and that's anything, you can stick your dishwasher on and your washing machine at night time too, then or leave your aircon running at full blast all night if you want, right? Then absolutely that's a smart thing to do, I think.
So just talking about that topic, what's the maximum peak during the day? Because that's on a
so for my one, living in southwest Sydney, and I think it's I think AGL is my retailer and wholesaler, right? I think that's right. Then I get I think it's about 35 cents or something. Yeah.
Is that the maximum they charge?
Yeah, because mine is flat outside of that time. I don't have a shoulder and a peak or whatever.
Okay, right.
It's a flat tariff.
Wow.
And now it's a flat tariff with a cheaper period.
Yeah, right. Wow, that's awesome. That's
so.
I think this is good information for people in EVs, because you really got to. If you can get a deal like that, that's fantastic, because I was thinking that these guys are going to make up for the charging you 8 cents by charging you like 40 or 50 during the day.
No,
so
at least not for me.
Yeah.
So
right, that's really good. So
how far do you want to go?
That's far enough. We can just do a U-E and come back.
I'll find a space. Oh, I can go up.
It's as I remember this car. I mean, once you're in one of these cars, you don't forget how it feels, because it's Rolls-Royce standard, I think. Rolls-Royce, Bentley sort of.
I'm impressed with the fit and finish. I don't come from a luxury vehicle before this at all, but or even a premium vehicle before this. But I'm pretty impressed with the way it feels, the soft touch areas, stuff like that. So,
because from what I've read, a few Teslas have a lot of squeaks and rattles and things, and I've had my car, my Atto, for 12 months. There hasn't been one squeak or rattle, or maybe the seat going backwards and forwards. That's about it. But otherwise, there's no squeaks or rattles in my car. So I expect this will be similar because the build quality feels the same, if not better.
Yeah, I would think that maybe it's just a little bit of a step up from the Atto 3, just in the general build.
Yeah, so BYD are planning to bring another 3 cars out this year, so that'll be interesting to see what they bring. So one's going to be the Seal U, which is probably going to be a $40,000 proposition, 40, 45 if they want to compete with a RAV. So have you gone on any long country trips or anything yet?
I drove to Canberra and back. That's the only really big trip I've done. That was really good. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised at the efficiency of the vehicle too. There actually. Yeah. Do you remember roughly what you got? Yeah. So I think in my normal sort of everyday driving and commuting, I'm doing somewhere around 15 to 16 kilowatt hours per 100. And on that trip it was about 18. Okay. And I was going 110. I wasn't trying to go slow. I was just going the speed. So I got all the way. I was left on full charge. Got all the way to Canberra. It was about 250 k's, and then on the way back I did a top up at Goulburn. Put in, I don't know, about 20 kilowatts or something, and then got all the way home and still had about 20 kilowatts. So if I'd been really, really, really brave, I reckon I could have driven all the way there and home. It was just over 500 k's and probably done it without actually hitting the charge. At 110, wow. Yeah, at 110 most of the way. Yeah, that's amazing. So and just coming to that, do you think what do you think about battery size? Do you think 60 is better, or do you think 80 is better with the weight penalty? Yeah, I mean that's a hard one, I guess. I think probably actually if you were really just using this car just to drive around town and you weren't going to take it on a road trip so much, I reckon 60 kilowatt hours is enough. And probably even the dynamic is actually a really good good proposition. Then you don't lose out a lot, but I think if you want to do the odd road trip and you like a bit more power under your foot, than that, the premium was for me absolutely worth paying the extra money for. Sure. Because when I was deciding on the BYD Seal, I was the opposite. I thought, I can't justify an extra $10,000 for the for just the head-up display, wheels. So if you're trying to decide between like a compact SUV like the Atto 3 and a sedan shaped vehicle, then the Dynamic and the Atto 3 is like they're the two you got to choose between, right? That's the thing. And then if you want a little bit more, feeling a little bit more premium. With some stuff with the leather seats and stuff, then I guess maybe you have to decide 10 grand's worth it or not, right? Exactly. I'm sure you're happy with your purchase. How would you recommend anyone after owning the BYD Seal, is there anything that you're not happy about the car? Not really. No. Seriously, I don't have any significant issues that I can't. Like little things. Things. Okay, little thing is where I like my steering wheel sitting, I can't see all of this in front of me. But it has a head-up display in this one. So I think maybe that might be something that if people are looking at this vehicle and want to take it for a test drive, get your comfortable seating position and then just see about where things sit. That'd be one of the things I would ask BYD to do, is make this adjustable or fix it to the steering column like they do with the Atto 3. Sure. No worries, because if you're like people who probably seriously considering buying this car, they read on Facebook and everybody that posts on Facebook, well, obviously the only reason why they post for is they want to whinge about something, and then they make, even for me, I get convinced sometimes, these cars have got so many problems, why would you buy one? But it's in actual reality, that's not the case at all. It just isn't true. The squeaky wheels, right? The noisy bit, the noisy vehicle, the noisy minority. Look, no car's perfect, all right? Absolutely. And look, we're talking in this case about 60k, right? We're not talking 160k or more. And those cars are also almost the same. Not perfect, right? Exactly. You go on to to a Mercedes or a BMW news group or whatever to guarantee that they will also have people complaining about something that isn't right.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. So I think we can rest assured, people, if you're interested in buying BYD Seal, take one for a test drive.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'll put a deposit down because it's such a good car. And even the Atto 3, if you're, like when I first drove mine, I thought, here's my money, I want that car.
Yeah.
So I think this one's the same. I think they're really brilliant cars. So, don't be afraid to take one for a test drive, because I'm pretty sure you'll be converted like we've all been converted. So EVs are the way of the future, and these ones seem to be some of the best out there on the market at the moment. And just on that topic, what did you think about fully charged?
Oh, everything electric, as they wanting to call
electric.
it now. No, that's all right. I enjoyed the day. I spent maybe 3-4 hours there. It was really good. Quite a lot to see. Interestingly, BYD didn't have their own stand, although you could take their cars for test drives, and they have their partnership with My Car to do servicing, and so they had a representation there. It was an enjoyable day out. I think if people are wanting to know more about electric vehicles and stuff, then you should go along to one of those shows. I think in March next year.
I was pretty impressed at some of the legacy automakers are finally catching up. They're finally, I'd seen the Renault there, which I really liked, and the Peugeot was okay. So they're actually finally starting to catch up. Otherwise, BYD and Tesla are just going to run away with the car market if these guys don't do anything.
Absolutely.
So,
I agree. I think that they will try to hold on as long as possible, to a certain extent, because they've invested so much money into the ICE vehicles. But the future is on its way. It's already here, as far as I'm concerned. And we just need to stop the fossil fuel thing from legacy. From trying to change the narrative.
There's plenty of bad PR out there for EVs, but we all know it's bullshit. It's kind of like, if you, I would never go back to driving a petrol car after owning one of these, owning an EV. I just don't think there's any necessary. It's not necessary. The complexity of those cars these days, oh my God. And I was spending like $1,000, $2,000 a year maintaining my car, and so hopefully with a new car, 8 years, should be 8 years under warranty for not everything, but for the battery and stuff.
Which is the bit that you're probably most concerned about. The other stuff is peripheral. It's a little annoying, I suppose, that the warranty that BYD are offering in Australia is not just a blanket one for 6 years or 7 years or whatever, and it covers everything. The simplicity, I think, makes sense to me, but they obviously have chosen not to do that. I don't think that's a reason to not buy the vehicle, though, right?
So is this warranty basically the same as the Atto? It's all very...
My understanding is that the same kind of breakdown of things is the same. There wasn't an offer for any, free first one or whatever with some of the Atto 3 things. It's but it's a standard kind of thing. It costs, there's a minor one after 12 months and then a more major one after 24 months. But I mean, it's still only a few $100s. Yes, it might seem like, I'm paying money for nothing, but I mean, the reality is if you budget for that, and then they don't actually have to do anything to your car after they've checked it over, that's a win. Right? They're not normally going to come back to you and say, well, look, your brakes are really bad now or whatever, or, look, we found something wrong with your timing belt or whatever, right? Because there just isn't that stuff to go wrong.
Yeah, because I was watching a few engineering shows on YouTube, actually. Well, Sandy Munro is probably the king of engineering with cars, and he said, if you speak to an engineer, there's no way they're going to choose a petrol car over one of these cars. Just a simple fact, there's so few moving parts in these cars. They're going to last forever.
I think that's the thing that the people kind of miss a little bit. I get it. People sometimes like the noise and the rush of a ice engine or whatever, right? I kind of get it. I had a turbo Subaru, right? So
yeah.
I know what it's like to have that. But it just makes electric motors in vehicles just makes sense.
Yeah.
You want to simplify those things, and that's the way to go, right?
All right, Gene. Well, it's been great talking to you, and I'm very happy that you've made a very good. You're happy with your car, and hopefully we can see more BYDs on the road and stop breathing petrol fumes.
Yeah, sure.
So look at this beautiful weather now. If we can clean up this atmosphere, it's got to be so much better. So hopefully more electric cars on the road.
No worries. Thank you, Chris.
No worries. Thanks, Gene.